Hello and welcome back to the When You're podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're watching The Mistle-Tones. So, this holiday Christmas movie, came out in 2012. And I gotta say, it kind of has stuck with me, it kind of hasn't. Like, sometimes I've forgotten it, sometimes I haven't. But this was 2012, okay? So, get your mind back into the good old 2012, all right? Now, 2012 was a big year. Very big year. Everybody thought the world was going to end. It was like all of this, blockbuster movie. Like, it was a good year for movies. It was a good year for all that stuff, right? Now it's the Christmas time, okay? And listen, it's 2012, all right? So just get your mind back in those good old days, all right? That's all I'm saying. Just imagine you're just like, oh my goodness, you're still stuck in the old days, and social media it's still not exactly where it is today. Like, it's changed and evolved over the years, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's like, it's on the cusp, it's on the verge of it. You know what I mean? Podcasting wasn't a thing, or like it was, but it's not as big of a thing as it is now. Like, I just feel like it was just a simpler time. Anyways, back in those days, I was a child. I was a kid. I'm still a kid at heart, but it's like, anyways, back then I was just a young lad. I was just a little kid. I was just a little kid waiting for Christmas. You know what I mean? A kid in Christmas, enjoying the Christmas season. And around those times, it was really like, I don't want to say it was super duper magical, but when you're a kid, it's just like you get time off of school to do whatever you want, like, and you have the energy. You have the energy to get up and do whatever you want. So it's like, if you're stuck in the school cycle. So if you usually wake up at like 7 o'clock to get to school at, 8 or whatever, right? So that way you have time to like get ready, get your stuff done. Like, you're stuck in that cycle. Like, every single day on the weekdays, you have to wake up. You have to wake up. You have to wake up early. You have to wake up early, right? So over and over and over again, you're facing this like constant, I got to wake up. I got to get up. So that way, when Christmas rolls around, like, now you have all of this, you wake up early in the morning and you have all of this time, right? And it's not like, and I didn't think about this, because the way I thought about it was that, like, oh my gosh, I wake up at 7 a.m. Every morning anyways. You know what I mean? Like, and when I was a kid, I would sort of sleep in, sort of not. Like, I guess you just don't turn on the alarm for those days. I wonder how different it is now. Because it's been very different, because back in those days, you could go to sleep at 12, you can go to sleep at whatever time, and you're still going to have the energy to wake up and go to school the next day. But my whole thing was that, like, even without the alarm, even without like my alarm clock, I could still wake up like an hour or two, like, I could just still wake up. That moment where, like, you don't even need the alarm clock anymore. You just wake up anyways on your own. I miss that. And not that I miss that feeling. I still have those moments here and there. But it's more of like when they would come, right? When it would happen, I would always kind of be like, why does everybody... not why does everybody... More of like... You know how sometimes you maybe like watch movies or whatnot, and you see like the person's like struggling to get up out of bed or whatever. I'm like, how are they struggling? Like, isn't this like your routine? Like, don't you usually wake up at this time? Like, what are you talking about? You want to stay asleep? And now I completely get it. But anyways, back then, take you back to 2012. I was a kid enjoying the Christmas season, and you're watching network television. This is not, this isn't Netflix. This isn't in theaters. This isn't an old DVD. Like, this is an original. I mean, I say original, but it's kind of like if it's the holiday movie kind of structure. But anyways, it's like what can I compare it to? I mean, it's one of those network television. It's like one of those Hallmark movies that they put on TV that they like just put it out there, and then now they just like distribute it to whatever streaming service is out there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh snap, like they came out with a new movie and people watch it on network television like they used to. It's now like they will have it on. They'll make the movie for like Hallmark will make it for their TV channel. They'll make it for that, but then like when that doesn't get any watch or any views, they'll go to a streaming service and they'll be like, hey yo, put this on your streaming platform so we can get some views and we can actually get some, make some cash for this, and then they'll pay them or whatever they have to do, right, to get that original thing. And back then, the original movies on TV were nice. They were pretty cool. They were not, they were like Disney Channel original movies. You know what I'm saying? Like they were creative back in the day. They were coming out with some hits. So this is what I felt was one of those hits, the Mistletones, and can kind of appreciate it a little bit. Every now and then, it was just kind of like once they came out with it, right? Like they put it on the TV. I don't remember the exact station or like the TV channel per se that they put this out on, the Mistletones, when I first watched it. But I remember the build up to it. It was like, all right, this coming out on this day and this day. So get your, sit down on the couch and get there and you'll watch it with your whole family, for the whole family to enjoy. But it wasn't. It was just like me and my brother just watching it. But anyways, so school was ending and I was enticed by it, you know what I mean? They were reeling me in. They were building it up over the time. So like every single day when I would finish school, I would be like, oh yep, that movie's coming out. I gotta watch it, or like whatever's coming on, And I just remember that build up, or like that week or two of build up before like the movie came out. Or maybe like a week of build up, or I don't know how long, but I think they started in like November. Anyways, that doesn't matter. What does matter is the movie and the plot and stuff. So let me just basically go through it. I think her name is they're twins. That's Tia Mowry, and I think the other one's Tamara or it's one of those sisters. They were in this very popular show when I was a kid called Twitches. I remember I watched them on Disney Channel. They were amazing. Tamara Mowry. That's the other sister. They're twins. Anyways, the one sister, Tia Mowry, is the star of this one, and essentially the way that it goes is there's this singing group or like band or like whatever kind of a deal, and I don't know if it's like it's not a cappella, I think, or maybe it is. All I know is that like they're a singing group. They're a singing group, and they have to get like everybody together so that they can sing for Christmas carols for the holidays or do their own thing, right? So essentially and they also don't tell you like, oh, we're gonna have like in the movie they're just all singers. So that, or I missed something, but it's more of like they kind of don't give you the idea of like, oh, you have to come up with your own band. Like you need a drummer, you need a guitarist, you need a bassist, you need all these different things. But it just makes it seem like, no, they're just going to be given to you and then you guys just get on stage and sing. It's like, oh, well, okay. But maybe that's not the point of it. Anyways, she wants to be part of this singing group, Tia Mowry. I forget her name in the movie. She wants to be in this singing group that her mom founded. Her mom sadly passed away, and she's just kind of like working at this job, and she's just like, I want to be a part of this group for the holidays that my mom was a part of because I have the best memories of my mom singing to me during Christmas. And so she was like, I want to... They were having auditions for people to join the Snow Bells. And if I remember correctly, it's like an all-female group. So it's like her mom started it, she wants to get in it, and then like I guess essentially the way that it goes is she auditions, she kills it, but then the leader of the Snowbells at the time was like, "No, no way." And it could have been a variety of things. When I watched it for the first time, I was like, "Oh, this lady, this lady doesn't get it. Like, how are you going to ignore her talent like that?" And then, as I get older, I'm kind of like, "Yo, this woman a racist. Like, she just not letting her get into the group, even though her mother founded it." And I was just like, "Yo, this sucks." But then, the movie makes it like more of like an internal emotional thing where it's like, where she's like, she feels threatened by her. So she's like, I want to be in charge. It's not about, any of that. It's kind of just like, I want to be the leader. I want to be the best. And if you join the group, you're going to become the best. And then I'm going to be like the old washed out person. And just like a bunch of these excuses, So she gets rejected. She gets pushed out. She's like, why couldn't I make it? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the weird thing about these singing groups is like they don't just let everyone and anyone in, right? Like there has to be like a finite limit to it because I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of like a whole process, right? You get to be a part of the band, you have to sing in the group, you have to read sheet music and all that. Then you have to kind of the auditions are always so uncomfortable and so weird, but like it helps you to narrow down who do you want and like who fits what you're going for. So since it's an all-female group, it's kind of like, okay, so women who can sing, you should audition and we're gonna vet out whoever we want and who we like and who we don't like. So essentially, I guess what this woman was looking for was she was looking for somebody good but not better than her. So it's like this whole weird thing where it's like they don't get the best singers or they don't get like people who really perform or do great work. They just want whoever is moderately good so that way the real stars can shine, essentially. And it's this like weird level of acceptance where it's like if you failed, you're going to try again next year and the year up because you want like some sort of acceptance. You want some sort of like recognition that like I am a good singer and that I deserve to be a part of the group where it's like, anyways, she got rejected. And I think her sister or a friend of hers, somebody tells her like, well, I think it was maybe her dad or whoever or what. I forget the whole details of the movie, but I just remember that she was told, why don't you just start your own group? Why don't you just do your own thing? And she's kind of like, well, my mom made it and it's going to be difficult and this all, just making excuses and whatnot, right? But then eventually she's like, you know what? This actually might be a good idea. What if I get people together and we can perform at like the store or like I think it was like a shop or some sort of, maybe it was a mall. It was like some sort of mall. And she was like, yo, why don't she talks to like whoever owns the mall or the owner or whatever. She's just like, yo, can I, be like singing at your event or your show at the mall? And he was like, or the manager was just kind of like, sure, just get some people together and whatnot. And then the manager's like, well, hold on. What if we like have like a little competition, see who really gets to like sing at my spot, just to really get some conflict going for this movie. So Tia in the movie, Tia Mowry, I don't remember what her movie name is. Anyways, she's just like, she goes to work and she asks her coworkers if like they want to be a part of the singing group. She's like, she somehow has friends who all sing, and she's just like, yo, why don't you come sing for the audition for the Christmas show at the mall? Like, why don't you come join me and we can rehearse and practice and then we audition and then we'll get in. And the recruiting scene is so simple in these movies, but in real life, like I could never, and not that okay, never is a stretch, but like, it just, for me, it would be weird to go up to a coworker and be like, hey, do you want to sing with me for an audition? And then at the audition, we may or we may not get in, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, well, that's kind of like, it's the holidays. It's kind of like I have to put this work and dedication into this stuff. And it's like, I don't know. I guess it just feels a little bit uncomfortable asking coworkers because, like, then you have to sing together, then you have to work together. It just is this back and forth. But I guess that's friendship. That's some sort of like getting together or whatever. Anyways, she asks her coworkers, her friends, and whatnot, and she's just like, "Yo, let's do this thing." And they were like, "Okay, I guess we'll try. We'll make it work, whatnot." And I guess they kind of start or they try, but it's not really like gelling together, or it's not perfect. Like, it's good, but they could be better, kind of a thing. So she starts driving. She's just like, you know what? We need something going on here. We need a little bit something more. We need more people, or we need something to happen. And that's where she gets like into a little bit of a car accident, or like the snow on the street kind of like messes up her car, and she crashes into like a snow pile or whatever. She just kind of drifts off, and she's like, well, I can't get it out myself. I need a tow truck to come over and help me out here with snow tires and everything. So she crashes and she goes into like this bar or whatnot, and there she sees her boss. Her boss is like singing, and I remember it was the song Burn in Love by Elvis Presley. And the reason I remember that is because I just felt like the way that the guy sang it was pretty good. I was just a kid. I was like, yeah, that's fire. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember now. It was because it was wintertime and he was talking about hot stuff. So I was like, oh, that's such a perfect contrast. It's like, it's during the wintertime and it's like, it's freezing outside, but inside the bar with this woman that you're burning in love with, it's like hot. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, that's a nice little, back and forth, whatever. I was just a kid. I didn't. Anyways, she sees this and she records him, and then she's kind of like singing my group, or like help my group sing or win the audition, and I won't blackmail you with all of this stuff with all of our employees. And essentially he's just like, fine, I'll do it. And then throughout the movie, you see like they start having a little romance, a little back and forth, a little bit of Christmas chemistry, huh? A little get together, and they bond through music and singing and all this other stuff, and it just becomes like this newfound friendship of like, oh my gosh, we're doing good, we're killing it. And then her boss joins in the mix, and it's kind of like this weird dynamic where it's like, these are the people who are working for you, but you're their boss, but you're also their friend. And it's kind of like this weird, unspoken thing where it's like, well, he's our boss. We can't really do this with him around, but it's like, it's cool for now. Like, he won't judge us. So it's like, it just that weird dynamic. But anyways, they start developing a romance, the Tia Mowry and her boss in the movie. So now you start to see like, they kind of like get caught. I don't know if that's essentially the right word. They're singing together, they're rehearsing, and somebody else records them, and then they send it to the Snowbell leader, the one who rejected Tia Mowry, and she was like, "Hey, listen, I want you on the team now. I want you to be," because then they try to frame it that like, if she's on their team, they'll have to perform and she can still be a star and she can keep her at bay. She can push her back, right? Whereas if she does her own thing and she kills it and she does great, she'll completely get rid of the Snowbells and then she won't be able to perform at all. So it's like, which one do you want? Do you want to perform and be the lead and then push somebody else down? Or do you want to be the lead and not be able to perform at all? So she's like, join us, leave them behind, and you'll be just like where your mother wanted you to be. So she's like, I'm thinking about it. So Tia Mowry is just like, I I'm thinking about it because this is my mom's group. This is what I wanted. This is kind of everything that I've, her legacy that I want to be a part of. And so she was just kind of like, I think I should. So for me, it kind of like, I get it, but I don't get it. It's like, it's just about singing. It's just glorified Christmas caroling. I mean, not glorified, but it's just kind of like, they're just singing. You know what I mean? Like, you can sing anywhere. You can have fun doing that anywhere. Like, why does it have to be like this big extravagant thing? But I guess if they did rehearse for it, I just feel like you put your energy towards something, you should stick with it. She's been putting her energy towards being a snowbell for a long time, even though her mom founded the thing. Like, she should get like honorary rights or something. But now that she made her own thing, it's like, yeah, cool. Like, isn't that inspirational? Like, the mom made her own thing, so now her daughter's following her footsteps, following her own thing, making something of her own, instead of like just following the leader. Instead of being competition, she just wants to be a part of the club, essentially. And Christmas caroling has always been a little bit odd. I mean, it's cool, it's definitely sweet, it's very nice, but it's like going door to door, or like maybe going to hospitals or retirement homes, and it's like, it's cold outside. It's just like, and I don't even know how Christmas caroling started. It's just like a group of choirs, or maybe it was a religious thing. Like, they would sing outside of people's home and try to recruit them into Christianity. Maybe that could be a good idea. They like entice them with like good greetings, and maybe like some candy canes and hot chocolate, and they're just like, hey, join us. You know what I mean? Maybe that's how it started. I don't know. But long story short, this movie. So Tia's like, she's talking to her boss, who she's kind of having this little romance, having a little something for. She's just kind of like telling him, I might do this. And he's like, all right. And then she talks to her dad, and she's like, this could be what I wanted. I can tell them. But essentially everything that's going on is, what am I thinking about? Oh. So she's kind of like going back and forth on it, and she's kind of like thinking to herself, well, what should I do? What should I really be a part of? And the boss is kind of telling her that, like, well, you made this group, right? Like, they've already had like, so this is very cute. They were trying to come up with a name for their band, and then she found like a mistletoe, and she's like, the Mistle-Tones. And then she kisses the boss, and then like they have like this blossoming of a relationship. And her boss is like, look, they're your group, you know what I mean? You lead this group, you should do it. And she's like, okay. They kiss each other, and he's like, I'm gonna be here with you. And she's like, you're gonna help us, right? And he's like, of course I'm gonna help you, I'm already helping you. And she's like, no, you're gonna sing in the group, you're gonna be a part of the Mistle-Tones. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So then he walks away, and the audition is like the next day or whatever, or like 2 days away. And she's kind of like, he walks away, and he gets a call, and it's like his boss. So the boss's boss is like, yo, you got a promotion. I need you to go to wherever he needs to go. It's like, I need you to go to Asia. And I need you to run our company from there. Get on a flight tonight. And the boss is like, okay, this is what I've always wanted. This is what my career has been leading up to. Because before he joined the band, he was kind of like this uptight, hardworking workaholic of a boss. And then that audition day, Tia Mowry is looking around for her boss, and he doesn't show up because he's on a flight to Asia because he's now promoted. And it's like, for me, I wouldn't have taken the job, not because like it's not, not because of love or anything, but because it's the holidays. It's like, you can't abrupt my life on a whim like that. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, give me some time. Wait till the new year, maybe. You know what I mean? I'll happily go on a flight, on January 2nd. But like right now during Christmas time, it's like, I don't know, dude. But that could be an adventure in itself. But anyways, long story short, they audition and then they get upstaged by the Snowbells. So during their audition, somebody else comes on stage. The Snowbells come on stage during their audition and just completely take over the whole thing. And they're like, "Hey, everybody, we made it," and blah 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 blah. And then they win and she loses, and now it's like all over. She essentially lost the audition. She's not going to perform at the show, and she's like, "Well, this sucks," And then she kind of gets like this feeling of, I don't want to say like being a loser, but like she is a bit of a loser. Anyways, she was just kind of like, darn, I had to sit there and I had to eat that, you know what I mean? Like everything that we worked hard for all December, all Christmas long was for this show, and now we just got our show ruined. We got our moment ruined. So they were just like, this sucks. And then she like sees her dad, and he's like, "Your mom loved to sing," and he's playing like old home movies, and she's seeing her mom sing to her, and she's like, "Yeah, it should just be about singing. It should just be about fun." And that's what it became. And then all of a sudden, the boss comes back and he starts singing the song, the "Baby Please Come Home" song. The "Baby Please Come Home," that song? Yeah. So he starts singing to her, and then she's like, "How could you leave?" And he was just like, "I thought it was what I wanted, but what I actually always wanted was you." And she's like, "You're going to have to make it up to me somehow." And he's like, "I know. I'm a workaholic. I'll do it." And she's just like, oh no, she's like, "I'm going to make you work for this." Like, she's like, "I'm going to make you work for me to get me back." And he's like, "I'm a workaholic. I'll do it." And then they start singing together, and it's like this nice duet, this sweet duet. And I remember that ending very well. I just remember they were like, he left and then he comes back. I was like, you could have saved yourself a trip to Asia. Like, I bet you that was really difficult. Like, the flight, you know what I mean? Like, that was so unnecessary, but whatever. In the end, they sing together, and there's like a sort of a sweet moment where the Snowbells kind of like are like, "Oh, what we did was wrong, and we shouldn't have done that. It should have been about singing all along." And then they kind of make like some sort of like a reunion or some sort of like pleasing ending where it's like, "Hey, it's okay, I shouldn't have treated you like that. I'm sorry." And then they were like, essentially everything just kind of calms down, where it's like, for me, I was like, "No, you rejected me. You ruined my audition. You did all this other stuff. Like, you ruined my show. Like, why'd you do that?" You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they get together, and it's like a Christmas romance, and I'm just saying, a lot of like the ending conflict, like him going to Asia for the promotion, the losing the audition or not like getting the show, and then him coming back because he loves her when it's like only been a week, and all this other stuff, right? And I just think that like really what this movie is about is like singing with people you love, your friends, and connecting with somebody who likes what you like, who wants to be there for you. And he's there now. He gave up a really nice promotion. I wonder who else got it, but he gave up a very nice promotion to like work with her, be with her, stay in the same spot. And I don't know. I guess that's one of those moments where it's like, is the money really worth it? He's making a nice living. He's doing his stuff. But then what happens after Christmas? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they break up in June, right? I guess that would have been a nice sequel, just like a Mistletones Part 2 or whatever, where it's like they break up in like June or whatever, and then they get back together for Christmas time. I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's been so long. As a matter of fact, it's been like 10 years. So imagine if they, or 11 years, my fault. Imagine if they came back and did like a second one. You know, I don't think that would be a bad idea. Now they have like a kid together or whatever. And maybe they're like singing to the child or whatever and whatnot. And yeah, the kid gets to, like, they have like a children's choir or whatnot, like sing songs together. Like that's a great idea. I don't know. I feel like what year did like Pitch Perfect came out? I think that was 2013, 2014, something like that. Or maybe it was earlier. Anyways, this was before like the acapella Pitch Perfect whole wave, I guess, came through with like the Cup song and all this other stuff. Like before all of that, you know. So I feel like there was definitely something they could have kept on cooking, is all I'm trying to say. They could have kept this singing song thing going, you know, this competition and audition kind of a feel. But instead, you know, they ended on the one movie, which I think is nice. You know, it's sweet. But anyways, the Mistletones, it was a nice, it's a holiday classic. You know what I mean? For me now, because it's been so long, and it's like, it's not a bad one. You know, it's one of those like TV show, TV network holiday movies that I'm kind of like, you know what? Let me go back and rewatch that or see it again, you know? So I think it's just like a fun, happy-go-lucky, sweet, romantic Christmas movie. So if that's what you're looking for. So anyways, when you're watching The Mistletones, just take yourself back in the day to like 2012. Think about like the weird culture around like auditioning or like being a part of like a singing group and whatnot. Like it should just be like whoever wants to sing should be able to sing, but whatever. And then like things you can take away from the movie are like your friends, your family, everybody who's there during the Christmas times. And it really is what you make Christmas. You know what I mean? You can make your own group. You can sing your own songs. You can be there with friends. You can do whatever. And that's really what it's about. So, and you could also, you know, kiss your boss and fall in love with your boss, and they can go to Asia and fly back and then fly, just this weird back and forth on Christmas, whatever. So long story short, when you're watching the Mistletones, just enjoy the music, I guess, and feel the weird coworker interpersonal relationships between everybody, you know what I mean? So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm so excited for Christmas, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.